Well, you're very welcome to the Lightweight Boxing Show. We've got a bit of a Scottish special this week because there's a huge event, obviously, in Glasgow. It is Josh Taylor taking on Jack Catterall. It's an all-British affair. It's Scotland against England, but it is for all the belts. It's the undisputed super lightweight titles on the line. And again, what an opportunity and what a fight to look forward to, Anthony.
What a fight. I think Josh Taylor, you're looking at someone who's in almost everyone's pound-for-pound list, and rightly so as well, against Jack Catterall, who's waited a long, long time for this opportunity, and it's the fight he said he's wanted for a long, long time. Listen, there's no denying he's a huge underdog, but skillful, southpaw with heavy hands. You've got to give him a chance.
So we wanted to find out a little bit more about the mindset of these fighters when they go into a battle like this. So we popped down to the VIP gym just before he left for Scotland to catch up with Jack Catterall.
Yeah, I think a lot of people forget this is the fight that I wanted. I wanted these big names for these last couple of years. Through no fault of my own, they've not materialised, but I'm here now. We're a couple of days away from the fight. I'm excited. Stepped aside to allow Taylor Ramirez to happen, to fight Josh. I want to fight Josh, so excited to get in there now and get it going. I've been mandatory well over 2 years now for the WBO title. And there was a lot of bumps in the road, the unifications, the undisputed, the COVID, etc. I felt like sometimes this fight, or a world title fight for me, wasn't going to happen. So to say it's come tenfold to be fighting for all the titles, for the undisputed, definitely got that spring in my step. This is Josh's homecoming party, so to speak, so I've got to go up there and upset the odds, but I felt like maybe not on this scale, but I've been in this position before, like the away fighter, not on this magnitude, but yeah, comfortable going up there, being the underdog.
Do you think when Flower of Scotland gets pumping out and, you know, the Scottish crowd, do you see yourself thriving off that?
Yeah, definitely. I visualised it every night this year, going up there. I know it's going to be hostile, but I've certainly took a lot of people up there to support me, so I'm going to go up there, soak the atmosphere in and go and put on a performance.
You've been in these big fight nights, Anthony. You were the WBA lightweight champion of the world. You know what it's like preparing for a fight of this magnitude. I mean, all right, there's more belts on the line for this one, but your mindset would have been just the same. So how's he feeling now?
No, of course. I think that Ring Magazine belt, that sort of tops everything in, you know, for any sort of boxing fan. But it's like you're thinking I can win the greatest prizes in this sport, and it's probably in a similar position where, you know, he's got nothing to lose. He's got nothing to lose, and you're dreaming, you're visualising that upset, which Jack will be doing.
Well, he is a big, big underdog, but there's two chaps in the VIP gym that are absolutely 100% confident in their man, and they are the trainers, Nigel Travis and Jamie Moore.
We've seen how good Jack is in some of the stuff he's done in the gym. I think in fights, sometimes he can allow himself to be lowered to the level of his opposition, but I think that works both ways. So the better the fighter is in with, the better he performs, and I firmly believe that that's going to happen on Saturday.
The journey's been, you know, marvellous from the start. Jamie was looking at a back door and he said that he's so involved, and it was just, you know, dipping my toe in the professional game element with Tommy Coyle, and really we stayed on that journey to the end with him, and it's been as rewarding as anything.
It was never meant to be this. I'll help Tommy out. He didn't have a trainer. He was fighting Derry Matthews. It carried on. We just decided to see it out to the end of his career, and then for whatever reason it's happened. And you know what? I never intended to get involved in it. I don't think Nigel did either, but I won't change it for the world now. I love it. I love doing it. I love helping the lads out. I don't see it as a job. I just see it as, I'm involved in the sport I've always loved, and I'm in a position where I can help other fighters try and achieve what they want to achieve, and I just think it's a great situation to be in. Do you know what I mean? And
I think he's changed it again. Jay's gone both sides of that coin now as well, because he's obviously opened an amateur gym, and he's seen that, you know, that how it can make you feel, you know, changing those kids from who walk in at 9, 10, 11 and become something and change their life around for the better. It's obviously it's infantile Jamie's thing. It's very, very young. You know, I like that word, don't you?
I thought you were saying something else.
No, at some point I knew he'd start coming out with big words. Does it all the time.
But it's obviously.
What's your favourite one now?
Ultra crepidarian.
Oh, what does it mean?
It's brilliant. Don't matter. It means people who talk about things that they don't know.
The irony. That's me.
The irony.
But Frampton told me that, actually. In all fairness, I'm not taking it away from him. It was Carl Frampton's, definitely. But you can see it's in the starting stages of its of his career as an amateur coach. But it's just wonderful to see those.
I've set that
kids.
amateur gym up because I've seen the impact on what Nigel's gym was having on that community. My area where I've grew up needed it, and we've gone and done it. We've Charlotte, Maverick Stars Trust, with their help, we've got it up and running. It's the best thing I've ever done. Even I enjoyed going down there and helping with the kids more than I do even the pros. I get nothing from it for myself except the enjoyment of doing it, and that's what it's all about.
Well, as ever, Jamie and Nigel in great form. Again, they are a double act, aren't they? There's no two ways about that. But they do have a very, very lively gym. I mean, there are fun and games going on, but there's some serious work, obviously, that takes place. And if people that don't know the real story with these two, they are mates. They go back a long way. Yeah. You know, as they say, they didn't really expect all this to happen. Nigel is a firefighter by night. He's on nights at the minute, or was before going to Scotland. And then he's also got the amateur gym, as discussed, Moss Side. Yeah. He's a pro trainer. Jamie, similarly now with Walkden ABC. I mean, these are busy guys, aren't they? They've got a lot going on. That's before we get to the acting careers.
No, yeah, the two guys who dedicated so much of life to boxing, and it's nice to see them getting the rewards in right down from amateurs winning national titles, representing the country, right through to the huge nights they've had with professional fighters defending world titles, challenging for world titles. And it's crazy the way this sport can lead. These are like the friends anyway, but they're ex-sparring partners. I think both have got different opinions in how those spars went, as you could probably tell by listening to it. But no, it's a great double act.
It is indeed. And now, well, we're going to see a bit more of that double act because we do have this special feature now on the Lightweight Boxing Show. It is Crolla's Corner. Now, this is where you like to freestyle a bit, Ant. You want to ask the questions that you were never asked when you were a pro. A little frustration of yours. So you want to get to the nub of what these these boys and girls are all about. Exactly. And well, here we are. It's Crolla's Corner.
You're on death row. Something you've wrongly been accused of. Yep. Last meal. What is it?
Mexican beef.
One meal, or can I have a free course?
You can be here all day, mate. But it's death row, so it's not very good. You're going into the trenches, yeah?
It's got to be a steak.
Steak.
I love a steak, yeah.
Steak and chips.
Yeah. Steak, chips, gravy with a bit of peppercorn sauce.
A pizza for a starter.
You're in a gym full of lunatics. There's a few lunatics in this gym. Okay.
And I'm going to have to a Sunday roast for my main.
There's one man or woman who you can take into those trenches with you. Who do you take? There's one person from the gym who you can avoid on a night out. Who do you go?
Martin Murray.
I'd have to take Nigel because
It's got to be Nigel, and it's popular choice.
There's one person who I've been mates with now for about 15 years, yeah? And 90% of the time, when you go out, there's an incident.
it's not looking good.
You can train one fighter past or present from Manchester United. Who is it?
Like the guinea pig, you go and see if it's clear.
Yeah. It's never his fault.
Never his fault. It's always somebody else's fault, right? I've nearly been arrested twice through him.
The sticky toffee pudding for the final.
Teach Runa how to throw a punch and not get dropped.
I've got a feeling his name might come up again. The film on the life of Nigel Travis. Who plays you? You've got a 10k investment. Yep, it has to be into summit. Where'd you go and what with?
Nigel Travis.
Who plays you? Bruce Lee.
No, Jackie Chan. Jackie Chan. How can you right, by the way, take your hat off.
Have to buy some new sparring gloves, wouldn't I? Invest in the future.
And if you had a samurai sword, everyone would have shit themselves.
Something to do for the kids.
Nice.
You know, build a foundation for the kids and help them off the streets. Keep them off the street, get them into something.
I'm always right.
I can't think of anyone else, really. I'm trying to think of someone like a basketball player or a...
Yeah, good coordination. That was Crolla's Corner, and I'll catch you next time.
You really want me to that, and you like that. And I know you're going to start getting more and more left field as well.
Yeah, see how far I can push it.
Always good to see people a little bit out of the comfort zone, but in a good way.
Yes, I think I've probably got to be careful with a few of the questions. I'm going to end up with a few gym wars, a few falling outs in the gym, but that's not my aim.
Really? Okay. Well, anyway, that's Crolla's Corner. That's a regular feature. Ant doing his thing. But of course, we're focusing on the big fight in Glasgow. It is all the belts on the line. It is an all-British title clash, a really fantastic one. And again, a hard one to call, but the odds very much in favour of Josh Taylor. Again, you look at it and you think, so many people are writing off Jack Catterall.
Oh, they are, and there's huge value in Jack Catterall. But then at the same time, and I think Jamie will say this himself and Nigel, Josh is rightfully a favourite and a heavy favourite. You know, he's looked something special since the very start of his professional career. Don't think I've seen him, have a bad night. And he's at the very top of his game. I think the one worry would be he's very big at 140. He's been 140 for a long time. That could go in Jack's favour. He looks well at the weight. You're talking about a fighter here who's in a lot of the people's pound for pound list, and rightly so as well.
Well, it's fascinating. We've heard, though, from Jack Catterall, who thinks he's going to shock the world. Let's get inside the champions camp.
How does it feel to be back fighting in front of what is going to be a capacity crowd back in Scotland?
Capacity crowd now, which is great news. Brilliant for me. Getting back to a full house in Glasgow, in my home arena. Had all my success there. In my career, I've had my biggest successes in the Hydro. So for me, it's my home arena. Although it's 50 miles along the road, but it's my home. And I've embraced it as my home, and Glasgow's embraced me. So
you're coming in off the back of a 12-round barn burner with Ramirez to face another undefeated fighter in Jack Catterall. How do you see it playing out? Me
winning. I don't see any other result. I don't see how he can beat me or why he can beat me. I just believe that I'm the better fighter in all departments. So unless I switch off or everyone's saying underlook him or overlook him or whatever, there's no possibility of that happening. So I just don't see a way that he can win the fight unless I have an off night. His defence ain't great, for one. His defence ain't great. So yeah, we'll see.
Back in business on British soil, how has Josh been looking in the gym, and what caused that knee injury?
Don't really know. I think there was a few tears somewhere along the knee that caused him an issue that I don't think he actually knew about. But like I say, he's been getting some good rehab work. Josh is always, it doesn't take him long to get himself conditioned. So everything's all good, exactly where he should be, and be ready to perform 100% come fight night. He's not the biggest puncher Josh would have been in the ring with. He's not the quickest puncher Josh would have been in the ring with. He's not the most intelligent fighter Josh would have been in the ring with. But we're preparing for him as though he's the greatest fighter that's ever stepped foot on the planet. Because everything that Josh has worked so hard for is up in the air come fight night. So we'll make sure that Josh is at 100%. With full respect, humble in preparation, respectful of Jack's skills in preparation, to make sure that Josh comes out with a victory.
So we're all set. It is the fight that we've all been waiting for. It's a massive, massive fight. It's hard to actually over-egg how big this is on British soil, all the belts, Ant.
It's huge. It doesn't get much bigger, and I've mentioned it a few times. I can only imagine what the atmosphere is going to be like in the Hydro. It's going to be. I think it's going to be a special night. And it's either going to be a huge upset, or Josh Taylor is going to roll on in style and prove again that he's the number 140 fighter on the planet.
So what's it going to be? What's going to happen?
It's hard to look past the Josh Taylor win. Do you know, I'd be like that. But I've knew Jack a long time, heavy-handed type of, and he is heavy-handed, much more heavy-handed than his star mates. But I honestly wouldn't be surprised if we see Josh buzzed in there because he's getting big at the weight. But listen, again, you've got to make Josh a big favourite. I think it's a distance fight on points.
Well, of course, there is another card over the weekend. It's a Sunday night card in London, and it's Lawrence Okolie defending his world belt. He's got Michal Cieslak, a Pole, in the opposite corner. Just pick out the bones of the card. Firstly, I suppose, Okolie's task.
This is good news for people not to go back into the fridge and sit down and watch a great night of World Championship boxing. Lawrence Okolie in by far the toughest fight of his career so far, against Cieslak, an elite cruiserweight. Of course, the professional debut of Galal Yafai, the Olympic gold medalist, straight out the gate in a 10-round championship fight. Anthony Fowler up at middleweight, Fabio Wardley back at heavyweight, Chev Clark making his professional debut, the Olympian as well. Brilliant fight between Jordan Gill and Guerfi for the European featherweight title. Campbell Hatton, and much, much more. So big night of boxing on DAZN this Sunday. I mean, I don't know what Maris Bradis is doing, but we'll find out on Sunday because he is the studio guest. Tells us he's got a lot of boxer tricks up his sleeve for Sunday. I'm a bit worried about that, but that's the natural fight. You know, Bradis is, for me, Lawrence Okolie is the best cruiserweight in the world. But on paper, with the resume, you have to say that is Maris Bradis. And you know, these are the fights that we should be making, not Maris Bradis against Jake Paul. So hopefully you'll get that question asked of him on Sunday on DAZN. And, you know, this is the final stage for Okolie before unifying. But I've got to tell you, this is a real fight. I mean, Cieslak is better than some of the world champions out there at the moment. So by far the toughest test of his career so far. And yeah, Maris Bradis will be there watching on, and hopefully we can get that fight on in the summer. We'll all be wrapped up well before 10 p.m. So it's good for people to get home from the arena, but also people watching at home. You know, it's not a Saturday night, so it gives you an opportunity to watch. I think we're kicking off at 3 p.m. on Before the Bell. So, you know, we're talking about 6 or 7 hours of live boxing action. And I think the main event, you're right, will be in the ring at 9 p.m. Sunday. I think it's a different kind of a viewing experience in the arena. You know, we'll have about 6,000 in there. People probably won't be quite as rowdy and as raucous because it's a Sunday. But I think from a viewing perspective, you know, I think it has a lot of potential on a Sunday, and it's going to be really interesting to see the numbers.
The plan Sunday night is to get into the ring. First minute to 2 minutes of round one, you know, sort of gauge what my opponent's game plan is while maintaining the distance, and jab, if we get on the inside, get extremely physical with him immediately, allow him to understand that he's in there with a champion. And as much as everyone's talked about how stiff a competition he is, I am obviously going to be the most dangerous person he's got in the ring with, the most athletic, the most experienced, maybe outside of Makabu, but I would knock Makabu out. So I'll be the best person he's ever been in the ring with. So it'd be good for him to experience that. Yeah, 100%. I've messaged him privately. We've spoken in the DMs. You know, I've sent him some voice notes and just trying to kind of get his mind back on the fact that he's a boxing champion and not you know, clout chaser. And I wanted to meet him a few times. We're in a similar country, in the same country, but it never happened. So it'll be good to see him just as a champion to champion.
And I know that you've spoken about this before. It's pretty obvious. We look at you, your frame, your size, the heavyweight stuff that's in the future for you. But is the plan to unify the belts first at cruiserweight and then dip your toe in with the big lads, but you're as big as them. You know what I mean, though?
Yeah, no, 100%. Like I said, once I've unified, then I'll be able to kind of have 2, 3, 4 belts at world level. And then, you know, I'll be able to put them down on the mantelpiece and say, you know what, you did all right. And then it's time to go and rumble with the big boys. Now at this weight, I'll show on Sunday that these cruiserweights physically just can't deal with me. Like it's just impossible. It's a blessing, but it's impossible. Like as we get into the rounds, they break. Like they just break. I don't care how hard they train, they just break. So if I'm able to do what I envision, I'll go and break another champion, and then I'll see if the heavyweights break as well.
What's the idea of a treat then now for you? Because obviously a lot of the fighters that you'd know would have a 5 guys and all that business after a fight. What's your treat after Sunday night?
Well, it's going to be straight to the drive-through. McDonald's, obviously. As many plants as I can. Do you know what I mean? They've actually featured in this camp. My weight's been very good, so I've been able to sneak to a drive-through on the way home here and there. But after the fight, I'll be able to enjoy it with guilt-free.
I expect Okolie to go out there and look to make a statement. You know, the opponent there, he gave Makabu a good fight, one of the other champions, so he can really put down a marker there, and he goes in there, and he expects him to go out there, start fast. Very, very big puncher. I think he gets the job done inside 6 rounds. Jordan Gill, I know Kareem from when he used to come over sparring Scott Quigg sometimes, very, very capable fighter. Ignore the result of Lee McGregor, which was an amazing one for Lee, stopping him. He's rebuilded, he won the European title. Jordan Gill, lovely skills. I think he gets home on a tight one on points.
A couple of debutants that I mentioned. I mean, the likes of Campbell Hatton will be out again as well. Still, the novice career, obviously lots of eyes on him. But in terms of the Olympians, Chef Clark and Galal Yafai, gold medalist from Tokyo, always interested to see
really how they're going to adapt. Yeah. I've heard a lot about Chef Clark, and I'm looking forward to seeing him, hearing he's very talented. And obviously, Galayafai, wow, what a performance in those Olympics. And it's about, like, it's nice to see him finally in there and under the Matchroom banner like his brothers.
Well, that's about it. And before you go, you do have your charity bet, and you've now been given £100 to play with. So
Yes.
What's it going to be from the weekend's action?
It's not super adventurous, but I think it's a nice double where I go Okolie inside 6, because I think he's going to come out fast, look to make a statement, really put a marker down. And the other one is Jordan Gill on points. He's lovely boxing skills to come for a tough one, probably a bit rocky late on, but he wins on points.
Well, there you have it. Anthony's thoughts on the weekend, and that's the charity bet all nailed. But that's about it then from us. But remember, all the interviews that you see and the Lightweight Boxing Show, well, the full versions are on the dedicated YouTube channel. So plenty to see there. And don't forget, subscribe, like, do the business. And well, where are we going to be next week, Ant?
Who knows? I know Nottingham's coming soon. What a fight that's going to be.
But we will have a Lightweight Boxing Show for you. Thanks for watching.